Hello, my name is Elizabeth Mendoza, and today I will be discussing childhood obesity in America. Obesity itself is a disorder that involves excess body fat that increases the risk of health problems. Childhood obesity, however, is a health issue that can cause diabetes, hypertension, and other serious conditions associated with being overweight and or obese in children who are 18 and younger. What exactly classifies a child as obese? According to the CDC, a child is considered obese if their BMI is greater than 95%. If their BMI is greater than 85%, but less than 95%, they are considered overweight. What is a BMI? BMI is defined as body mass index and is found by dividing a person's weight in kilograms by their height in meters squared. In the previous slide, we talked about BMI, but how exactly do you calculate this? For your weight, you would have to convert pounds into kilograms. You would do this by multiplying your weight by 0.453 in order to get the kilograms. However, to convert your height, you would have to take the feet that you are, let's say you're 5 feet, and multiply it by 30.48, which is the conversion for centimeters. And with the centimeters, you would have to divide it by 100 in order to get to meters. After you have done this, you will be able to divide your weight in kilograms divided by your height squared, and you would be able to get your BMI. So finding your correct percentile is relatively easy to the math that we just did. Let's say that through your calculations, you found out that you were 163 centimeters tall and that your weight in kilograms was 95. So you would go on the BMI graph, which is listed in this PowerPoint, and you would see that your weight is up at the top and your height is on your right. So what you would do, you would find your 163 centimeters. You would go all the way down until you get to 95, and you would see that according to BMI, you are obese. Health problems associated with obesity are very difficult to cope with as well as to deal with on a daily basis. Even though children are so young, they are still at risk for coronary artery disease, heart attack, kidney problems, liver problems, diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, breathing problems, and bone problems. Type 2 diabetes is very difficult to deal with due to the fact that you constantly have to monitor yourself, have to inject insulin into yourself, and because they're kids, they have to leave the classroom, and if they're feeling sick or if they feel any type of way, they have to immediately tell an adult. And sometimes these children may feel like they're causing a quote unquote scene. Some liver problems associated with obesity are a fatty liver. Even though these kids are obviously not drinking, the fatty liver happens due to the increased fat that they have in their body. Breathing problems like sleep apnea that can happen when the children are asleep are very common as well. Another common problem that we don't even think about are bone problems. Children who have an obesity problem are at a higher risk for fractures due to extra stress on the bones, and their bones are weak due to limited physical activity in their daily routine. Some psychological and social problems are low self esteem, bullying, depression, anger, and emotional eating. Low self esteem obviously occurs due to the fact that they may feel like they are the biggest kid in their classroom or in their grade level. Bullying can also occur because, let's face it, sometimes kids can be really, really mean without even knowing or knowing on purpose. Depression can occur due to the bullying, as well as the child feeling isolated and feeling that they have no one to talk to or have no friends. Anger arises from internalizing these emotions. Emotional eating occurs because they find comfort in food and they think that that is a solution to their problem. There are several ways to prevent childhood obesity. Prevention has to begin in utero, though. The New England Journal of Medicine found that if a child is 4,000 grams overweight at birth, they are 5 times more likely to become obese by the age of 14. Another thing to make note of is that if a child's family has a history of being obese, we have to regularly monitor this child's weight. The most common way of prevention, and the one that we hear about all the time, is to encourage a healthy, balanced diet and reduce the intake of processed foods. Of course, we all love pizza, cookies, chips, but we know that we have to eat these things in moderation, and that's what we have to teach our children. We also have to encourage fun physical activity every day and limit the use of sedentary activities. Some of us don't like running on a treadmill, and some of us may not even like walking into the gym, but we do know what works for us. So that's the same thing we have to do for children. They might not want to be running around after a ball, but they might like going on a hike or even swimming. We have to also let them know that yes, the iPad is very fun and very addicting. And yes, sometimes you will get sucked into that YouTube hole, but they also have to know that physical activity is important and that we need it every day to be healthy individuals. Our forms of prevention may not have worked for some children, but there are ways to treat childhood obesity. The first step would be to obtain a physical exam conducted by a certified physician. Even though it sounds like the most logical thing to do, sometimes parents get antsy and so they run to the first fitness nutritional person that they know, and so they expect this person to give them information about what their child should do. However, they might not be certified or they might not even know what they're truly talking about. Once the child has visited their physician, it is important to set SMART goals to lose or maintain weight. SMART goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound goals that the child has set for himself with or without his parent. The last option would be to get on medication or have a bariatric surgery. This one is if the child is extremely obese and if obviously the child's health is at risk. Thank you so much for watching my presentation. I really hope you enjoyed it. And childhood obesity is something that I honestly feel very passionate about, and I love to talk about it all the time. So, again, thank you so much for your time.